you're as crazy as the rest of them. Cloning? What the hell are you talking about? Are you trying to tell me that you're a clone? That's impossible. There's no way to clone a human being. It's much too complicated for scientists now, let alone however many years ago when you were born.
Don't be silly. If you ignore the question of ethics, it's been possible to clone humans for over 30 years. I'm 23, but they've been doing it even longer. It took them a while to get it right. I'm pretty sure that they started not long after she went away. That was about 30 years ago.
That's ridiculous.
If you can imagine something, then somewhere, somehow, someone will try it. The concept of cloning isn't something new, Ted. You probably thought it was all the stuff of film and science fiction, didn't you?
I don't think I ever thought much about cloning at all.
I have. I rarely think of anything else.
You should stop it. You should stop thinking about it at all. It's crazy.
Solomon thought about it all the time. He has dozens of books on the subject and old films in the archives about twins and clones and androids. I haven't had much else to do for entertainment, so I watch them. You probably don't watch old movies at all. You're too busy having a real life. What's it like to have a real life, Ted?
I'm starting to forget. But this is all nuts. How is all this cloning supposed to have been done?
I don't know all the details, why they saved her DNA in the first place, but I know it's true. When I was going through the archives, I found some old journals. And then when Karen showed up, it was obvious something strange was going on, and we started putting two and two together, so to speak. At first we thought we must be twins, separated at birth. But then we confronted them, and they kept changing their stories.
You must have been twins. That would make sense. But why would they have separated you?
Don't look for logic here, Ted. Just accept it. We're not twins. They tried to raise us separately on the mainland, but we were unpleasant children, or so I'm told. There were problems, breakdowns in discipline, unexplained memories, and bad dreams. There have been very bad dreams.
I think that you've dreamed all this up.
Eventually, they had to bring us both here. I came first. It wasn't so bad. I was always more accepting, I think, but Karen's always fought back. She was the first to survive. It took them a long time to get a viable fetus. She's 16 months older than I am. It's all in the journals.
If this were true, and I'm not saying I believe any of it, why did they need two of you?
Who knows? Maybe I was insurance. Clones are quite fragile. Look closer when Karen comes back. She already has lines around her eyes. Clones of other species tend to age faster, at least those who are cloned from adult subjects. They think it's because the genes have all the aging accidents already in place. No one out there really knows, you see, and it's for sure these clowns out here aren't going to publish anytime soon.
How do you know all this?
I'm not just a clone, Ted. I am a librarian.
I just don't see how they could keep something like this a secret from the world.
If you have enough money, you can do anything you want.
But someone is bound to leak the news. The National Enquirer would pay huge amounts of money. 60 Minutes would probably want to...
Who can pay more than Solomon can?
But if someone got angry or was fired...
No one gets fired, Ted.
But there's all kinds of possible ways that this...
No one. They just go away.
Oh.
Like her in the portrait. You do believe me, don't you?
I don't know. Cloning?
Actually, a more technical term is somatic cell nuclear transfer. Or would you prefer genetic asexual reproduction? Oh, look at that. You haven't even touched your shrimp.
No. Stay here.
I have to go now. Don't believe a word that woman says.
Oh, I wish she wouldn't climb over the rail like that. She's going to break her neck one of these days.
How long were you listening to us?
Long enough. You really have to understand. It's the portrait that does it to her.
What was all that about cloning? It's ridiculous, right?
Alicia, she has a vivid imagination.
What was it you said? Something about a genetic transfer?
I just try to humor her. It seems to be the best thing to do when she gets like this.
You humor her?
Yes, the poor girl is fixated. That's the only kind way to say it. That's why she's here and not out in the real world, you know. She and Karen both. It's worse with Alicia when she sees the painting. That's why I keep it covered up, so as not to upset her. It's a delicate matter, Ted. Can I rely on your absolute discretion?
Of course, but I still would like to understand what's...
Oh, our Alicia's not quite right, you see. Neither is Karen. They're mad, really. Well, there you have it. Absolutely mad. It's why we keep them away from the world.
Who is the woman in the portrait?
Oh, her name was Sally. Sally Brown.
Who is she?
Who was she is more accurate question. She was the great love of Mr. Solomon's life. I don't think he ever loved anyone else. I suppose he couldn't be brilliant at everything.
What happened to her?
Oh, she died.
And Alicia and Karen are what? Her daughters?
Oh, they've never gotten over the trauma, poor girls.
What trauma?
Sally, the woman in the portrait, she killed herself. Threw herself off the balcony there. It's
Wait, that's a 300-foot drop.
Yes! Of course, at the time she was horribly, fatally ill. I suppose she thought it was better to get it over quickly.
So Karen and Alicia are twins?
Well, you've seen them both. What do you think? It must be some genetic instability. They take after her. She was a film actress. At one time, Mr. Solomon tied his hand at the movie business, you know. Such a genius, that man. Well, genius or not, he met her while they were making a movie together and lost his head over her.
It's obvious that one of them took the files.
I told you to stop going on about that. There are larger problems.
Just let those notes fall into the wrong hands and you'll be singing a different tune. And besides that, I need those equations now!
Oh, you came up with them the first time? You can do it again. Oh, hello, Ted. Mavis, I'm glad you're here. We need a council of war. That's what we need. A council of war.
You're not the one with the responsibility. You're not the one in charge here.
Did either of you touch your lunches?
Ted, come sit down. I need to brief you.
Oh, you can't function on an empty stomach.
Of course you can. Starving masses do it all the time. Butler, will you sit down for God's sake? You too, Mavis.
I have to,
You don't have to do anything. It's more important than this. Archer will be arriving any time now, and he'll want to probably spend the whole damn night.
Oh, then I'll help to make up the ivory room. Don't you think the ivory room would be best?
Well, stop babbling. I can't hear myself think.
It is depressing, though. All those dead elephants.
Excuse me, do you think I could just ride back to town on Mr. Archer's boat? Will it be going back straight away, or will I...
You can't go back to the mainland, Ted. I told you. He wants to see you. He's traveling here to see all the candidates. Archer's convinced Solomon that his reactions are vital. Vital, that's a laugh.
But that's the thing, you see. I've thought it over, and I don't think I'm really what you're looking for here. I don't see myself working out as a companion. I'm looking for something a bit more challenging.
Well, you don't want to be too hasty, Ted. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, and there's salary yet to discuss. I'm sure you're going to be very pleased with our terms.
Alicia's been talking to him, Roger. The portrait was uncovered.
Oh, good God, you left him alone?
Can I be in two places at once? Do you see two of me?
Yeah. Ted. I want to know exactly what Alicia's been telling you. She's an imaginative girl. Well, that's what we love about her, of course. But it can be distracting.
X to the seventh power!
Which was it?
Which was what?
Which story was she telling you? Well, let me see. Was it alien abduction? Government conspiracy? Clones? Well, she has a number of those little stories she makes up.
She mentioned clones, but she didn't really tell me anything.
I came in on them before she could really get started.
Oh, well, that's a relief. You never know what she's going to say.
Times 3 to the nth power!
She showed me the portrait, and then she asked me if I knew anything about cloning. Of course, I knew that had to be crazy, but the resemblance is incredible.
Well, this portrait was done when Sally was about the same age Alicia is now, and that's what sets her off so.
Yeah, we never recovered the bodies. I think that was a real blow.
Poor Mr. Solomon was inconsolable. This was way before my time, of course. I didn't know her, but I wonder why he took on so.
Well, she was his life, Mavis. She was his reason for living.
No! This is impossible! I've got to go somewhere and think!
Oh, shut up, John. Thinking's what got us into this mess in the first place.
So does that mean that Alicia and Karen are Mr. Solomon's daughters?
Well, they have legal claim of sorts, no matter what Archer thinks. You know that's true, Roger. Butler, tell him that's true.
Will someone shut that woman up?
She didn't seem that crazy.
Don't get into it, Ted. A disturbed mind is beyond simple understanding. Not to worry, though. Mr. Solomon has a very detailed will. Alicia and Karen will be well cared for.
I need air!
Oh, for the love of God, John, forget the equations. Come and sit and help me plan.
Deep breath! Deep breath!
Sometimes I think I am the only sane one here. Oh, if you're going to be out there on the balcony, take these binoculars, keep watch, let me know if you see the boat.
Oh, I'll tell Chef Paul there's only going to be 5 of us. I doubt Alicia will join us if she's in one of her snits.
You know, Mavis used to be sane. I think it's a sea air or something. We've got to get back to the mainland more often. You can see something other than these damn seagulls.
Boat coming at 10 o'clock!
Oh, damn. Look, Ted. Archer is a paper pusher. He's a malcontent, but he is a schemer as well. He keeps worming in way his position will be a threat to him. He's coming here.